This is the one with slabs, but not the loving kind.
A platoon of Jadoon on the moon.
Kinky, horny alien police.
And a super fun murder straw.
And more NHS cuts.
It's called Smith & Jones.
Here we go.
We're still on our endless voyage, all through time and all through space.
With Levine and Angels now, Daleks, Cybers, Zamdude, wow!
Tennant, Smith and Eccleston, Gallifrey, where it all began.
Doctor Who is cool again, that was Russell's master plan.
Who back when? Reviewing all new Who there is. Who back when?
Subscribe and rate on iTunes, please.
Rose and Donna, Amy Pond, Rory, Martha and beyond. Join us on this odyssey, what other choice could there be than Who back when? Who back when?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Who Back When, a Doctor Who doc past.
Why did you do that to me? This little
so
brain
good.
could not compute.
Oh no, I love that, that was amazing.
Episode N029, Smith and Jones.
Yes,
I
it is.
am Drew, D-R-E-W full stop, that's the end of it. And to my right is...
Pumpkin, hello!
And to my left...
Nick, how you doing, podcast land?
And that is the entirety of our co-hosting team.
It's been a long time, right?
It has been a while. We've not sat around this table for a month and a half.
More.
Oh, it's more.
2 months, I want to say.
Yeah, last time we were here, there was a camera.
That's true. We are recording this in front of a live studio audience. Miramu is on the sofa, waving, as you can hear.
The riot's about to break out.
Either way, it is super nice to see you guys, super nice to sit down and record with you guys. Why are we here? We are here to review the Series 3 opener, Smith and Jones. The first episode to see Martha Jones as the new companion? Yeah, I suppose.
But if she's Jones, who is Smith? Are we getting two companions?
Oh my goodness.
I'm being disingenuous.
So for a little bit of housekeeping, I'm going to try to do this episode without swearing once, ladies and gentlemen.
Good luck to you,
It's going
sir.
to be a new thing.
Here,
I'm
listen to
drinking
me
tea.
shake his hands. Good luck, sir. Good luck.
I'm drinking tea instead of beer, so I think that hopefully that will help.
Have we not sworn already?
Probably. Well, we'll see. Shall we jump into a bite-sized chunk of Who?
Yes. Prima Eggman returns to Doctor Who as Martha Jones, a doctor in training at the Royal Hope Hospital in London, currently host to somewhat out-of-the-ordinary patients.
One of them is Florence Finnegan, your run-of-the-mill blue-haired menace who's a bloodthirsty alien on the run from the authorities, and the other is John Smith, aka the Doctor, who's just there to investigate some plasma coil oddities.
Then all hell breaks loose when all of a sudden the entire hospital is H2O scooped all the way to the moon.
B-Scout over. You are welcome. H2O scooped is the dumbest term ever.
It is, it means nothing. It means less than nothing. So anyway, we should probably start before we rip into H2O scooping.
Yeah, I suppose so. Drew,
Yes?
I think you should take it away, because you are definitely the one with the most formidable notes for this episode.
Okay, so, no cold open in this episode whatsoever.
Really?
It's credits, and then we are into scene one.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. And I double-checked, still not in sync.
So have they undone the correction they made in the Christmas one? I thought that was in sync.
Was it in sync? I'm not sure it was. I'm not sure it was.
I have never cared.
I know, I know you don't care. I know you don't care. But still pisses me off.
So yes, we're into scene one. Martha is walking down a busy street, accompanied by music with attitude.
In an urban fashion.
Are you referring to the actual record scratches between cuts? Because that does happen.
Well, yeah, exactly. Both the actors, by the way, behind her, keep glancing at the camera, really obviously.
Oh, really?
I had to watch it back a few times because it was just delightful.
Let's get some screenshots of that on whobackwen.com.
Do you know these people?
So I actually like this opening scene because, okay, it's an exposition dump, but it is quick and it's snappy and it's very effective. Within a minute and a half, you know her whole family. And
Yeah.
you know her relationship with pretty much everyone within that family.
I wonder if, should you maybe compare this to how we're introduced to Rose? Because there are tons of similarities between their first adventures, as in Rose and Smith and Jones. And Rose also starts off with this, very quickly cut collage, this montage of this is her life, this is her boyfriend, this is her mother, this is where she lives, blah, blah. But this is infinitely more efficient. Way more efficient.
Done by the media phone call. right?
Yeah, you're right.
It's good.
And her family seems more interesting in a way. Well, I guess there are more people that we get to know. She has a sister and a brother, and there's a father and a stepmother who's her age and all stuff. But it's this super dysfunctional family.
And I can generally believe the concept of that phone call. It isn't, whilst it is all exposition, I get the idea that they're trying to plan a party, and it's caused friction between all the different factors, and she's the conduit that accepts it all, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And she seems to be the most responsible member of the family, maybe. Everyone's relying on her to organise it.
Yeah, she's holding that family together by a thread, by several threads.
Yeah.
And she needs a hero. No, okay.
Yeah, before the end of the episode, definitely.
Good initiative, though.
But the cutting did annoy me, because I don't know if you noticed there were just some...
The record scratches annoyed me. That's my first note. That actually is very cheesy, kitschy.
But there's also one point where the brother is looking one way and then suddenly he's looking the other. It reminded me of the Joker in The Dark Knight more than anything. He came across as a schizophrenic.
Oh, wow.
Just completely unnecessary. The editor went mental.
I did not pick up.
All right.
Seriously. I was watching very closely. Because you've got to. You can't let these people get away with this stuff.
Sure. No. Well, you're clearly not letting them get away with it.
Although he probably auditioned for Top Gear, got a gig on that, and now he's doing it all the fucking time. So you can't win.
So we've kept up with the Joneses.
Yeah. Sorry, before we cut to the next thing, in this whole montage, we get to see the Doctor as well.
The Doctor sees Martha on the street.
Yeah, and just takes off his tie, and it really means nothing, but in the grand scheme of things, it's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah.
Put a pin at that, get back to it later maybe. But sorry, I totally cut you off there, very rudely. What were you going to say?
And then at this juncture we're introduced to... Do we go, a little old lady, or Doctor as Mr. Smith?
Ooh.
Well, there's one thing that happens at this point, whereas Martha gets bashed to one side by a guy in a motorbike helmet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's a Virax guy.
Yeah.
That might mean something to us. There was a long-running TV advert for Zevirax, which is like a cold ulcer cream.
Oh, right.
And the person in it looks exactly like the...
It's just a leather motorbike dude.
With a black helmet. Looks exactly the same.
You're right.
It's like he's wandered off the Zevirax set and the Doctor Who.
Cool. Yeah. All right, yeah.
Screenshot
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say.
Honestly, wow.
Okay.
Just thrown everyone off their rhythm.
Sorry, cultural reference I did not get.
I'm going to try and find it.
So, yeah, she scrubs up, she gets an electric shock off the locker.
Yep.
Fucking great big blue spark.
Well, basically we're introduced to the fact that she is a doctor or a doctor in training. She's working at this hospital. Well, she's wearing a white coat. In my book, that makes her a doctor. They don't give a white coat to someone who's just like a...
I think they're just white coats, man. I think anyone...
Not like a doctor's white coats.
Nah, she probably just kept her
I think that's how it works in the world of TV. But I think generally...
This is a TV show, man.
No, just saying. I think generally, if you just pick up a white coat, then...
That doesn't make you a doctor. I'm not saying that. No.
You've been pissed off.
Okay, well, regardless, she works in a hospital, so we know she's a good person. She wants to help people.
Yeah. Her heart's in the right place.
Yeah, exactly.
Her single heart.
Her single heart, yeah, I was going to say. That's nice segue. And we are introduced to the two patients that we mentioned in the Beast Cow. Yeah. Number one, Florence Finnegan, who on Todd's Wikia, that is how she is registered. She's not registered as a plasmivore. She is Florence Finnegan.
Right?
Well, what the fuck, man? She's an actual little old lady from space.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Once a plasmivore's sucked up someone else's identity, I mean, in the eyes of the Jadoon, she's Florence Finnegan. She gets a stamp.
Oh, so legally you
speaking,
think that she has had a sip of Florence Finnegan?
Yeah.
She's actually some very different looking creature, but she's had a sip... Oh, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but, interesting.
I think that's the premise of them, right? Is that she...
Yeah, but she has a sip of the Doctor. She doesn't turn into Tennant.
Yeah, but she doesn't have all of the Doctor. Maybe she has all of Mrs. Finnegan. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, she can,
all the way.
She can probably turn it off and on as she pleases, and she's already been seen around the hospital as Florrie, so she's not going to turn up as this other
I am feeling a tingle. We need to talk more about this little old lady.
Yes, we do. So yeah, she's just some ditzy old crank who hasn't been eating enough salt. Just salad for a week.
Yeah. Let that be a lesson to you, ladies and gentlemen of Podcast Land.
Listen to the Doctor. Simple, honest salt. Lovely salt. Salty, salty salt. That's how I remember this scene.
A weird public service announcement this has turned into.
We're also introduced to another character, Dr. Stoker, or Professor Stoker perhaps, who's the consultant, the guy who's teaching Martha and all these other sort of doctors in space.
Yeah, he's Dr. Salt.
He's Dr. Soul, yeah, you're right, sorry. And we have encountered, I can't remember the name of that actor, but we have encountered him on Who Back When before. He starred in an audiobook or a double feature called Human Resources, which is by far the best Doctor Who audiobook we have reviewed on the show.
Yeah,
and he was great in that.
You keep harping on about that.
I do, yeah, it's a very good audiobook. But anyway, yeah, so that guy, whatever his name is, insert here.
Dr. Abraham Stoker.
Was in that, yeah.
I thought he did a pretty good job in this as well, for a cameo.
Yeah.
I like the guy.
Anyway, yeah, sorry.
So at this juncture, are we just doing the rounds with Abraham Stoker and his minions?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so all the junior docs, the proto-docs, are on their rounds. And then Martha gets a chance to diagnose Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
A.k.a. Tenant Doctor. And what does she find?
Well, she finds that he has two hearts, which apparently, even though he's a goddamn undercover alien, he seems to be totally cool with the fact of just, flaunting the fact that he has a dual coronary system.
Do you know what's worse? Do you know what just makes...
Although she's not fired on the spot!
Yeah, no, she doesn't immediately go, okay, something's just
totally
awfully wrong here. She just gives him a little I totally know you got two hearts. Let's just keep it between us, because nothing else can come of this. Like it's some sort of flirty...
Yeah. He just winks at her.
Yeah.
And Stoker then looks at her and goes well, you've totally messed up this fairly rudimentary test of checking someone's heartbeats. Go, don't be a doctor somewhere. Why does he not just fire her right then and there?
I assume that there's some sort of procedure to things. No. You can't just fire someone for thinking they ate someone else too hard.
Well, it's too much paperwork.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. Alright, anyway.
She's paying a lot of money to the hospital to study there, you know.
Yeah.
Well, there is that, I suppose. Okay, fine.
Thatcher's Britain. Yeah, so they have their weird little eye flirting, and then she says, "Not clever, was it, wandering around the streets?" Yeah, so that's when
and we sort of find out that Tennant isn't aware of this yet. What's next?
Well, there's a little throwaway comment in this, like there often is in every episode, where she asks the Doctor if he has a brother, referring back to the encounter on the street, and he says, well, I used to have one, or something like that.
Yeah, he says, not anymore, now it's just me, or something to that effect. Has the Doctor had a brother?
What stage does other Tennant turn up? That's later, isn't it? And there's two Tennants.
Oh, that could be considered a brother, yeah.
Yeah, but that's out of order.
True. It's all quarters out of order.
Does he consider his past incarnations brothers?
I don't think so.
He doesn't have a brother when he's little soldier to be scared of the monsters under the bed later on, does he?
No, that's true.
An only child there. So.
Very true.
What about the Master?
Oh, possibly.
Yeah, they have some weird thing going on. Filial thing.
Could be.
Yeah.
Irving Braxiatel, or sometimes simply Sitel, was a Time Lord and the older brother.
Irving Braxiatel
was a Time Lord.
And when did he appear on the show?
When he was a youngster on Gallifrey, Braxiatel lived with his brother, the Doctor, and possibly his sister, in the house of Longbarrow.
So is the Doctor's surname Braxiatel?
This is a bit of an eye-opener to me. I didn't realise this at all.
This is this weekend.
Yeah.
It's not official.
That's totally canon. Well, I mean, that's a catalogue of the canon. So yeah, apparently the Doctor had a brother and possibly a sister, and his siblings had surnames. What?
What is happening?
This is really weird. Where does that appear? Does it say if it's in TV, books?
I'm looking. Check.
Okay, this looks like it's novels and audiobooks. And Braxiatel he's appeared in novels The Empire of Glass, Winging It, Tears of the Oracle, and so on, and also audiobooks Disassembled, The Inquiry, Lies, and Zagreus. So yeah, very clearly, I mean, I don't know the backstory of this, but this is clearly something that we need to discuss on Who Back When at some point. Doc's had a bro.
Wow.
But all it gets in this scene
Thank you very much, Mirimu.
Is a half-line mention.
Yeah.
And it
which no one picks up.
And it doesn't seem to come up in the TV series before or since.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's just too complicated. Maybe it's internal politics of the BBC. They don't consider audiobooks to be canonical or whatever.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely what they spend our money on.
Good point. Nice ref.
So at this juncture, I want to say Martha is having a little chat with a co-worker when they discover that it's raining upways.
It's raining upways, and I think we can pretty much fast forward to a lunar surface at this point. Actually, is she talking to someone? I think she's on the phone with her sister.
She's on the phone to her sister?
Yeah, it's only raining around, like it's raining on top of the hospital, not on the sister.
They're going for lunch or something.
Yeah.
But she is in the kitchen with someone else.
You're right.
And they are falling around the kitchen for what seems like 20 minutes.
Yeah. There's a long shake scene.
But I was amazed by how many cuts there were. It was 16 seconds. But it felt like forever.
Are you amazed at it, as in like, they did a lot with those 16 seconds? Or are you amazed? Okay, well, that's good.
It felt like I was on a roller coaster. I felt like I was on my way to the frickin' moon. Frickin' doesn't count as swearing, by the way.
No.
I feel like 16 seconds is a long time.
I remember thinking that was a long shaky cam scene in general. But maybe I'll need to rewatch it. Maybe you're right. It's a very well done one.
Yeah.
Either way, all of a sudden, Kablamatron, they're on the moon.
Yep.
So the hospital has been nabbed, like foundation and all, is now on the moon, encased in an air bubble.
Everyone's losing their damn minds.
Yes, that's my next note here. There is an unreasonable level of chaos erupting in the hospital.
Very unreasonable.
Yeah, unreasonable levels of panic. People, grown men, are crying and screaming at the top of their lungs because they are suddenly on the moon. Yes, it would freak people out, but they wouldn't all of a sudden just turn into rabid animals. They would go like, what are we going to do? Oh shit. And then lots of people would faint.
2 words.
Go for it.
Black Friday.
Yes.
Have you seen what people will do for that like limited edition Furby? They'll leave the damn month if they leave it on the thing.
Yeah. You're talking about a limited edition Furby, not about having been kidnapped and plopped on the moon, man. Like,
look, to some people,
genuinely think that people were I genuinely think that people were overreacting. Like, just relax, man. No. Yes, you're on the moon. I get
relax, you're on the moon.
I get
enjoy yourself.
Screwed up your day completely, but like, I don't think that people would start screaming and crying and like banging on the windows.
Absolutely would. Have you ever been to M&M World?
No, I refuse. It's against my principles.
And why? Because you'll see people screaming, right? And that's just M&M. That's just Leicester Square. Can you imagine if we took those same people to the damn moon? Yeah, I'm not buying that at all.
Unless we were looking
it's unreasonable at how low the levels of panic are.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe. You know what? I think unless we were catching a glimpse of the psychiatric wards of the Royal Hope Hospital. No, I think that was totally... Well, you agree to disagree, but...
No, you agree with me.
You are wrong.
Right in, tell me what you think.
One of you was saying there's not enough panic. One of you was saying there's too much panic.
Yeah, there's too much panic.
Is it possible that there is just enough panic? Is that possible?
I think later on we get just enough panic.
Are we the 3 bears of anxiety?
I think later on, when things have mellowed down a little bit, then everything becomes slightly more like, okay, I use the word realistic, but like, it becomes, people act more rationally when there are freaking Jadoon running around the place than they are at the first moment.
Yeah, they're going into shock at that point.
Yeah. Well, and also, they kind of feel like there's some sort of supervising being, whereas at that point they're into a chaos. Having said that, Martha at this juncture comes up with the super clever thing, right?
Yeah. Which is?
That the hospital isn't airtight, so why haven't they all suffocated? They're alright, it's no worry about it. They're in some sort of stasis.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
He doles out the brilliance and geniuses like his bloody can, like they're M&M's at M&M World.
Yeah. Oh, don't bring back M&M World.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace.
And the Doctor he's changed from... Has he changed into his suit? I don't feel like he was wearing a suit before.
What happens is you see him go behind the curtain in his hospital robe.
Yeah.
And then, 5 seconds later, he comes out fully bedecked in suit from top to toe.
Oh, really? I totally missed that. That's awesome.
Absolutely for effect.
That's awesome.
It's because it's one giant dickie. You just rip it off. One go. It's Magic Mike, that thing. Okay, so Martha's been very clever. The Doctor's noticed.
Yeah.
Yes, RTD's writing has been very, very clever. And guess what? His protagonist has noticed.
Yeah. I also like how the Doctor treats the other doctor or nurse or whoever it is, hospital staff member in the room as leave her behind. She's not potential companion material. The other one who's very panicky and oh no, don't open the windows, we're going to suffocate and whatever, blah, blah. And the Doctor goes, hey, is there a veranda? Let's go out for a little stroll. But leave her here. She's just going to slow us down or something like that. I quite like that.
Her neurons... He's very harsh on her. Her neurons are like a regression of primordial soup in her brain. It's just like she's gone backwards over billions of years. Honestly, Martha's brilliant. The other one, she might as well die. Who cares?
And I mean, the other thing that we learn about the Doctor is he judges super quick, right? You ever had an off day? You can't around the Doctor.
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's like that woman was just like, oh yeah, I was just about to say that. No, you are done now. Yeah. You are
no second chances.
Dead to me.
No second prizes. No nothing.
Actually, to be fair, that's what the 10th Doctor, or the Tenant Doctor says. No, I'm at no second chances, man, when he turns up in the Christmas special.
Oh, you're right. Christmas Invasion. Oh, dude. Mind kablooey. Well done. Nice one.
So he's consistent. Okay. That's fine.
He's consistently a jerk.
We learn a few more things about Martha around this point. I mean, they pop out to breathe some fresh air on the moon, and they see the Earth in the distance, and so on and so forth. We learn that, as she confirms, her cousin was at the war. Was it the war? The Battle of Canary Wharf?
Yeah.
Can't remember her name now.
Adiola.
Adiola, there you go, well done. So, alright, that's the explanation. That's why we've got the same actress. She looks exactly like her cousin. Yeah, just like every cousin who looks the same as you.
Identical cousins are a thing.
Okay, so we learn that. We get confirmation. There's no one going like, oh, wait, hang on, why are you recycling an actor, you know? So I think that's a nice thing. And secondly, we learn that she remembers Cybermen, she remembers the Raxacorico Phallopatorian spaceship that crashed into Big Ben. Pretty much every other human being that we've encountered on the show since those episodes just didn't remember it at all.
What about Elton?
See, it seems to be... there seems to be a motif of those remarkable, quote-unquote, people don't repress things. Whereas the rest of us, because we're all sheep-like, we tend to repress these ridiculously...
You know who did that, by the way?
Go on.
Donna Noble. Donna Noble was in Spain during the Cyberman invasion, and she did a lot of scuba diving or whatever, so she didn't see them. Didn't remember any spaceships crashing into Big Ben.
Yeah.
Forgot that she was at the birth of the Earth.
Yeah.
Seconds before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a fun... I'm sure there's some sort of parallel to be made.
Either way, I think it is worth noting, this individual, this soon-to-be companion, totally remembers all of that. Was completely aware of it at the time.
The Doc, I made a note that he says, I'm sorry. He doesn't go the whole hog.
I thought about that.
He says I'm sorry without mentioning that he pulled the rubbery cyber condom out of her cousin's head and basically just killed her off. Although technically it wasn't really, but...
Because she was already dead and whatever, but...
Yeah.
But still, yeah, no, you're right.
Way to gloss over all of that.
Yeah, why does he not recognise her? Why doesn't he go, hey, you look familiar to me. Oh yeah, you're that woman I
totally murdered your identical cousin. What a grab a Costa.
Okay.
So we've now established that we're on the moon and another spaceship turns up, right?
3 other spaceships
that surround our Royal Hope Hospital and sort of giant leather-clad men enter the building, right?
Yeah, very sort of soldier-like. They're all marching, yada yada yada. I love those spaceships, by the way. I love it when they use spaceships that don't look like your run-of-the-mill Flash Gordon-esque spaceships. These are just like these cylinders with legs. It's nice. Yeah. Well done.
I thought the CGI on them also was pretty good.
Agreed.
In contrast to the CGI on the hospital, which was uniformly terrible.
CGI on the hospital? I mean...
You have lots of low-res wide shots of... The lunar landscape, the landscape in the background,
which kind of make you feel like they're reminiscent of Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. Like every time you see the hospital from the outside,
or just like those really, really elaborate 3D plans the architects make up for the local paper.
Oh yeah,
this is what our new, it's going to look like on the moon, and this is what it looked like if we lived in Hawaii. It's like we're not,
that happens.
That happens literally all the time. And none of the things that anyone plans on buildings look like the things that they plan.
Yeah.
So they put the new Westgate on the moon.
Yeah.
And it just looks terrible. There's hardly anything to it. There's a short squat box and a tall thin box behind it. And even that they can't really pick out in high resolution.
I think they blew all their money into training rhinos to speak.
Yeah, okay, so the Jadoon, they are rhino aliens.
Right.
They are bipedal rhinos.
Okay. No one likes this, do they?
I mean, why?
No one
why?
Likes this.
I want a fucking explanation.
Well, because...
Who wrote this? RTD wrote this? Why are there rhino aliens?
I've nothing for you. I love rhinos as well. I love them so much. I have rhino everything. They're my favourite animal, except for this weird, like, it makes no sense, and it's not even hinted at. It's not like, it's like, oh yeah, actually, technically, rhinos are aliens, and the ones on our planet are just like the mentally challenged ones that they deposit here or something. Like, they're cousins. He makes no, it's just like, yeah, the rhinos. And it's
like, oh yeah, we sent a rhino into space and it flew through a black hole, and over billions of years it evolved into the Jadoon. Like, give me that explanation at the very least.
Or is it just coincidence that they look like rhinos?
Yeah, convergent evolution.
Yeah, fair. Okay, I'll take that.
It's dropping terms here, that's nice.
In the same way that other aliens might look like humanoids,
which happens all too often, obviously, but that feels like more of a budgetary constraint. Like, here, people, they invested budget to make them look like... do you not feel
they
like
invested enough budget to make the mouth move in one direction, so it has to speak like Odge, Podge, Codge, Flodge, Hodge, Jodge. Fucking awful.
It's like a super drunk teacher giving a register. No, I have no concept of why the Jadoon are rhinos. I can't even cobble together a half-assed writing explanation. So if you've got one, podcast land.
Yeah, please share it with us.
Yeah.
But okay, so these Jadoon, they are part mercenary, part police force. They're police for hire.
They're the G4S of space.
They're what now? The G4S.
G4S are the company that our stupid government contract out all the things the police should do. And the things that the NHS should do. Basically the things that anyone in the civil service or government should do.
Yeah,
right.
They're private companies providing public services, but without the necessary oversight attendant upon public service providers.
In another way, they're mercenary, they're police for hire.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. That was me, dude.
That's what
Sitting right here.
That's what they say.
They're rhinos doing whatever the hell they like because nobody knows what on earth is really going on.
I suppose.
Because if there was a real galactic police force, then they would actually make sure that, laws would be properly followed instead of the Jadoon turn up and they're the stupidest people in the galaxy, so therefore the cheapest, hired for the job. And they'll do a terrible job, but it's better / worse / not no job.
Well, also, I don't like it doesn't make sense, does it? They're not police.
Well, they seem more like bounty hunters in this case, because they're after one specific individual.
For a specific crime, right?
Yeah, all fair points. They've been hired by Padravol Regency 9 to find the murderer of the child princess of Padravol Regency 9, who is suspected to be hiding somewhere in this hospital.
Absolutely. Second best Regency, third best princess, so They couldn't get the hippo police, they're going to have to settle for the rhinos.
Don't give people ideas.
You're right, they're bounty hunters. That's a better description than police. Although they turn up as police later, don't they?
Yeah, I think you're right. But in this episode, they're more bounty hunters. But anyway, I think maybe we glossed over something. We haven't really talked about Florence Finnegan.
Finnegan's Week.
Yeah, that's coming up as well. So she meets up with Stoker and kills him. How does she do this?
She walks into his office and she's completely changed. And her voice is unsettling and creepy as hell.
Yeah.
And Stoker is just oblivious to this because...
He hasn't worked out, like the rest of us, through the feature of dramatic irony, that old people are creepy and young people are creepy. In the Russell T Davies world, if you're sort of below 15, you're creepy. If you're over 60, you're creepy.
Now, what about Cribbins?
Yeah.
But he's an old man. He can reproduce.
Okay, so it's the reproductive spectrum that RTD's not a fan of.
Which other barren old ladies have we encountered on Doctor Who?
Creepy barren old ladies.
Fear her.
As well as creepy young girl. Boom.
Oh my god, it covers both poles. Fantastic.
Anyhow, so Finnegan has drunk Dr. what's his name, like a Nesquik.
Yeah, she has an actual straw.
So that's definitely meaning that they've spent all their budget on this one CGI shot and a couple of rhino masks. Because who's thought, what should we do? Should we get him a ray gun? Or should we, get some fangs and some blood? This is in the canteen. Found this in the BBC cafe.
Yeah, this came free with a box of 5 Alive. What can we do with it?
And the Macra special.
But boy, can she waggle that straw.
Yeah.
Yes, she can.
It's freaky.
Yeah.
Don't like it.
So she drinks Stoker's blood with a straw while the two slabs hold him down.
Drink Stoker's plasma.
Stoker?
Stoker. Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's gone way over my head.
Bram Stoker.
Vampire.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Acula.
And
I think at this juncture we're a bit more privy into the Judoon. They're looking for a fugitive. They're cataloguing people.
Sure.
They catalogue people with their special flashlights.
And a black magic marker.
Which just seems
no one can copy.
I can't believe... It's so upsetting. It was so upsetting at the time. It's like, those of us that have mastered intergalactic space travel, like, raise your hands.
Squeegee, squeegee! Draw an X on people's hands. And no one thinks like, oh fuck, I'd better draw an X on my hand and I'll get away from all this mess. Oh.
Yeah, not a whiteboard in the hospital.
Damn this paperless society.
Also, we're spared more glodge, blodge, modge, nodge because the rhino has a voice recorder program and they assimilate English, so now they speak English.
Yeah, how does that work? My theory was that this machine that they have actually already knows English, because they don't listen to a lot of speech. Like, they listen to like half a sentence.
But there's something about what they say, like assimilating the language or something, that makes it sound as if they're able to derive the entire language.
I know, and that's exactly what annoys me, but I feel like there must be a little different explanation for it. Like, he listens to... It's maybe one sentence. It's like, "Hi, we are."
No, please don't hurt me, or something like that. It's the doctor that tries to be
the hero.
The
representative, the diplomat.
Then he grabs him, scans him, and says, and then goes, "Oh, please don't hurt me," or something, and then he plays that back and assimilates.
Identifies it as Earth English.
Well, yeah. So maybe you're right.
Well, I'm hoping that that's the case.
Yeah, it's on file.
God, I hope so.
Because they can't even get subject, verb, object out of that sentence. I mean, they don't
exactly.
anywhere.
Yeah. So now all of the Judoon speak English. Does that mean that there's, like, are they wearing some babblefish kind of thing? Are they wearing a gizmo that translates them in real time? Or have they actually, like, Neo-style, learned English?
Babelfish.
Okay. Fine, let's go with that.
So it's just the one rhino, isn't it, who talks?
Is it just the one? Else... I don't know. Is it just one that talks?
I'm pretty sure he's
no, there's a couple. There's Flo, Joe,
Mo,
Steve-O.
Goodness. Okie dokie. So what happens next? My next note is Rentgen.
Well, you've got Martha and the Doctor. You got a bit more of that.
Okay.
The Doctor's talking about galactic law, and she's like, "Galactic? Why, you're talking about things that don't just relate to the planet. How's that possible?"
When literally a couple of scenes previous, she was like, "Well, this is obviously extraterrestrial, and we're on the moon. I'm on board. I'm understanding that we're part of this rich tapestry of planets and star systems.
Also, we're hiding from space rhinos."
Yeah. Okay, I'm on board. I got this.
Wait, what's happening again?
That's the problem with the writing for companions sometimes, is that occasionally they want to make a progressive and well-structured and thoughtful humans with, intelligence, and occasionally they just want to strip them all of that for the function of the scene and the plot.
Yeah, so that the Doctor can be clever instead.
Yeah.
You get both those extremes in this episode. You just lurch from one to the other, back and forth. I mean, she's
the smartest and dimmest person of all time.
yeah, exactly. If the Doctor had met her at this juncture, he'd be going with the other one in the kitchen, going, "Wow, you don't stand a chance." I mean, she's heard he's got two hearts with medically trained ears, and he starts hinting that he's an alien, and she's like, "No, you're kidding me."
We've literally just seen 6-foot-tall rhinos.
And I thought that Martha actually, I mean, if I was an actress, I would sabotage those lines. Yeah. But she doesn't act stupid as well as she acts intelligent. I don't know why they just didn't make her...
intelligent.
Yeah.
Just go, "Oh, right, you're an alien." And then, could she not have been suspicious of him? Why are they never suspicious of the Doctor immediately?
Oh, aren't they sometimes? I mean, didn't we even have a conversation about how Donna Noble was suspicious of him being run away?
Yeah, like I said, I reckon Donna's the, whereas like Rose seemed to almost implicitly, as well as just Martha. So she's like, "Okay, we're on board with you now." It's like, well, how do you know they're not looking for him? Because, I mean, that was the point. He's like, "Well, they're looking for alien people." It's like, well, let's let them look. It's like, well, they'll find me.
Well, I don't know. He's done nothing but flatter her.
Great, yeah.
So he's just pandering to her ego, and she's really pleased to be in his company.
Shocker. Awful.
Possibly.
So, alright, you got the Judoon, they're going through the hospital, you got lots of shots of kinky leather on stairs, stamping about. "Prepare to be catalogued!"
Yep.
Which, there's a dramatic irony there. One bloke is driven mad enough to assault someone with one of those giant ceramic vases that are everywhere in hospitals. You can't move for them.
And he is sentenced to execution and disintegrated. Let's put a pin in that. Let's put a pin in that right now. Let's put a pin in that right now, because I want to talk about that later on.
Okay, pin.
Okay, so he's been Judge Dredded.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Doc and Martha, I think, at this point actually go to like a computer room or something, because he figures, all right, they're looking for some other alien. It's not me they're looking for, it's someone else. He's going to go through patient records and identify, obviously, Florence Finnegan.
He's going to sonic some stuff.
He's going to sonic some stuff, and he makes a reference to she makes a reference to the laser spanner. He goes, oh, this is a sonic screwdriver. He's like, oh, don't you have a laser spanner? And I don't know when this was, but at some point in Classic Who, the Doctor actually did have a laser spanner.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, that line for me is undercut by him saying, yeah, it was stolen by Emily Pankhurst, cheeky woman.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. So, nearly had it, completely blew it.
Sorry.
No, not you.
No.
RTD.
That's my noise as well, by the way.
So, she's a shape changer. Martha's gone off to find Stoker. And now there's lots of chasing through the hospital.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how do we end up... Okay, so, sorry, I was wrong. So I have the Emily Pankhurst notes. Then I've got drinking blood through a straw. So maybe, I don't know if my notes are off or if we told that the wrong order. It doesn't really matter.
She's been sucking Stoker up through the straw this whole time.
Hot boner time. But then my next line is the Röntgen radiation. How do we get to that? Because that's a thing. Oh! I know what it is! Mm-hmm. One of the slabs starts following them, right?
Yep.
And in order to kill the slab, he sonics the X-ray machine and, like, shoots shit tons of Röntgen radiation, X-ray radiation onto the slab, thus killing it. But then we get this scene where he absorbs...
Oh, my God.
Yeah, my note is actually just a question for you guys.
I can't think about it.
He absorbs all of the X-ray radiation, and I thought for a moment that we were going to get a fart joke, because he was like, if I concentrate, I can get all of the radiation out in one spot.
That would have been funnier.
Really?
I would have dealt with that. I did not... They're like, it was you! Now it's out. It's like, hang on. I mean, I don't know an awful lot about physics. Next to nothing, in fact. But presumably radiation energy, all those sort of things cannot be destroyed, just convert. So, like...
It's now out.
Now you've just murdered everyone.
You absorbed everything and now you put it back out in the room. But regardless, like, why? Like, I don't really understand. And then also, that then is followed up by him going, wasn't that silly or something? I'm wearing shoes. And then he takes off his shoes for no reason and walks around barefoot for the rest of the episode. Why?
He put it in his shoe.
He put it in his shoe?
He, at some point, does this motion. I'm flicking out my foot a lot. And goes,
so the radiation is now in his shoe?
Yeah, he concentrated it into it and threw it in the bin.
But that doesn't make any sense. Why didn't it just go into the table?
This is something that Time Lords learn to control in infancy. Röntgen bricks.
Oh,
you know.
Yeah, they used to play with Röntgen bricks at daycare or whatever it was.
Exactly. He can manipulate it with his
So didn't he lose
biology.
some of his life?
Sorry?
Is that a different thing? Did he ever mention that? Maybe I'm making that up. It was stupid. I could have done without that entire scene.
Yeah.
I might as well have just gone, it does affect me.
There are... I absorbed it, problem solved.
Yeah. Didn't need the silly...
This is one of so many parts of this story that are just incredibly silly and childish. And I guess the Jadoon can even fit into that as one massive childish concept. But, it's just slapstick and doesn't really fit in, I feel.
I, however, for some reason, I liked his unhinged delivery of barefoot on the moon. Because, I don't know, there are plenty of moments where I hate Tennant gurning and flapping around with slapstick buffoonery. But I don't know, he really committed to it. There seemed to be a tipping point at which I was like, I might as well go with it. I suppose he is giving his all.
Alright, fair enough.
Has anyone got any facts about Wilhelm Röntgen?
No.
Well, I'm going to give you some. He discovered X-rays.
Yes, we know that.
Yes. He earned the first Nobel Prize in Physics in 1901.
Did not know that.
Element 111 of the periodic table, Röntgenium, is named after him.
Wow.
Wilhelm Röntgen, you are welcome.
Nice.
Come for the doctor, stay for the facts.
Also, just to add a little bit of contrast, we go from this very silly, child-friendly scene of him wiggling his foot to him looking at the dead slab and going, someone has a serious leather fetish. It's pretty nice. Like it.
Yeah. Very self-aware writing there.
Yeah. Okie dokie. So, yada yada yada. they're on the move.
Yes, Finnegan appears for cataloguing, but she's an internal shape changer. She's not like Odo or someone.
Yeah, nice ref.
DS9. She's assimilated Stoker's biology, so she registers as human, the cheeky minx.
So she's catalogued, so she's safe. Now the only alien left to be catalogued and sentenced is...
the Doctor.
Which, by the way, okay, so another thing about their cataloguing system. Human or non-human? Presumably, their cataloguing system extends to things like themselves that are non-human, but have their own classification. Their taxonomy can't just be human and non-human, can it? Because actually, the vast majority of things in their universe...
it's going to be non-human.
Yeah, right? Well, they're more likely to be like Jadoon and non-Jadoon. That would make more sense to their cataloguing procedure.
Or just go... well, I mean, they're going through everyone. I guess they just need to assign a species to everyone. So they just go human, plasmabore...
yeah, but that's the thing. The Doctor is afraid of being catalogued, and the Plasmavor's strategy now,
is to blend in.
And eventually is to blame it on the Doctor as the non-human.
Yeah.
When they don't go, well, he's a Time Lord, we're not looking for him.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a super good point. Yeah, why don't they go like, actually, what we're looking for is a Plasmavore. We're not looking for something else. Like, we're not looking for something that isn't human. No, that's a super good point.
A specific crime, is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Super good point.
I'm just going to get out. I'll just leave.
I mean, this is a conversation only us, a super fan, and maybe Carl Linnaeus would find interesting.
Okay.
But perhaps they are just super cheap and they just make an easy assumption that there won't be any non-humans in the hospital apart from the
this
culprit,
one.
because Earth isn't crawling with... what's the species they're crawling with in the recent series? You know, where they're disguised.
Oh, Zygons.
Yeah, it's not crawling with Zygons. So, ergo, keep it simple.
I just think whoever designed their little flashlighty thing, their taxonomy, like whoever designed their Babelfish jobby, would probably make the allowance of other the things that they mostly encounter. Because hitherto, mankind has not encountered talking rhinos. But other... right?
Then also, later on, when they actually do, like, spoiler alert, when they finally track down the Plasmavore, she's been sucking off the Doctor, but they don't identify her as a Time Lord, or Gallifreyan, they identify her as a Plasmavore.
Yep, true fact.
Why? I thought she would have assimilated the Gallifreyan DNA or whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there are a few plot holes here that...
I have an even broader plot hole.
Oh,
which is that if there are Plasmavores roaming around the galaxy who can assimilate internally anyone else they meet, how the hell do you know who anyone is in space? At all.
This is a weird semiotic point, isn't it? Are we all?
Well, I'm never leaving the house again now. Thank you very much. I just don't feel safe anymore.
Or maybe it's us that shouldn't feel safe.
Yeah, weren't you just in hospital? Quote, unquote.
It's just absorbing something.
Cool, let's just put his business out there.
Okay, so let's speed through this. One thing leads to another. The Doctor now needs to go and find the other alien, and in order to, I guess, stall the Jadoon, he kisses Martha Jones.
He does.
He kisses her, and she seems to really enjoy it.
And transfers some of his jobby force.
Yeah.
His genetic material, genetic transfer.
Time Lord herpes.
Yeah.
So anyways, now...
Well, he is an intergalactic poonhound.
Yeah. You don't know where those lips have been. So
this is another thing. It's like the final nail in the coffin for Martha's intelligent self.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, he smooches her, and she's practically gasping by the end of it. And she's like, "That was just a kiss." It's like, this is my role now. That's really disappointing.
True fact. Rather than get off me. What are you doing?
Yeah.
There are other things at stake. Whereas if he'd had taken the time to explain, maybe she'd be on board. I feel like she'd want to set aside basically everything for getting these damn rhinos out of her hospital and a hospital back on the south.
Yeah, I don't really mind it, to be honest. I don't really mind it.
You're the man that found it unreasonable that people would be upset by being on the moon.
Yeah. No, I think people are just... No, that's clearly an overreaction.
There is no upper ceiling to being upset to accidentally finding yourself on the moon.
Dude,
There's no...
Picture yourself in that situation. Would you start crying and, like, banging your fists on the windows?
I don't think they're banging their fists. They're just up against the windows in disbelief.
Oh my god, we're on the moon. No, you just go, oh fuck.
I don't know, man. I've reacted that way finding myself in Abingdon. Why am I here?
Well, I mean, there's the classic story of Rory's brother who would wake up in the morning and upon waking up realise he was alive and shout, "No!" which he must have told all of us dozens of times. So you can react that way to being alive, let alone on the moon.
So, right. So the Cheese Big Kiss has been catalogued as having...
Yeah, it takes the Jejune a little bit longer to catalogue her.
Oh, right.
Buys him some time.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the idea, because they're like, oh, you've been in contact, you've got Time Lord herpes on you.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, he runs off and meets Florence Finnegan.
Yeah, but it's odd because he needs to buy time, but all he does when he's in the room with Florence Finnegan is talk, and try and delay her at the same time. So everything is taking longer than it needs to.
I don't even feel like he's trying to delay her. I feel like he's just trying to provide the alibi of, I'm a silly humanoid, or I'm a silly human, come and suck my blood.
Okay.
Because I don't think he doesn't stop her. No. He doesn't go, oh, shouldn't this be there? There's no, the kind of slapsticky scene that you see at least now and then in Classic Who with the Doctor accidentally tripping over a wire and causing, the bad guy's scheme to take longer time or anything like that. There's nothing like that. He's providing kind of fun, fake exposition.
Yeah,
I actually think it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Well, and she's a good actress as well.
Sure.
I like it, so yeah, the more of her, the better.
So she's being lulled into a trap of some description by the Doctor, and the Judean closing in, and she set some sort of trap. What's she done?
Well, she's increased the MRI's magnet setting to 50,000 Tesla, so she's going to fry everyone in the hospital and the near side of the planet, and she will escape. She basically tells him everything at this point.
Classic villain mistake.
Yeah.
The Doctor retorts with something about, they turned their scans up to setting 2.
Yeah, you need to suck my blood.
Setting 2, where they can presumably distinguish between more than human and non-human.
Although, no, why would that she wouldn't know that there was something else to, because she's already distinguished herself as human. So if level 2 they can distinguish more, she's still just human.
I think it was literally just, we're going to do round 2. We're going to scan everyone one more time.
And she's losing life.
Human wood.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, maybe.
Plasma.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But, and I also in my notes, sorry. At this point, can you please soundbite her saying, I've got my little straw.
We can have cake.
Why should I have cake? I've got my little straw.
Well, there you go.
Because I just love it. She delivers it with such relish. I was bitching to you in the comic book episode about how you don't get women of a certain age in Doctor Who, and here is one. Yeah. And she is chewing up the scenery, and it's brilliant. I love it.
Cool. Yeah, no, I like it. More power to them. Let's have more little old ladies. So now she sucks the Doctor's blood. Blah, 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 blah. Jadoon and Martha Jones suddenly barge into the room.
Yeah.
After the Jadoon give Martha some compensation.
Oh, yeah.
Because
what?
Bureaucracy? I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird.
Officialdom?
I don't know. It's a litigious galaxy.
And Martha now suddenly just grabs one of these DNA flashlights and scans the plasmavore.
Wouldn't that not be a crime of some description?
Yeah, that's like,
stealing?
you walk up to a cop and steal their gun. I'm just going to point this at a criminal. Like, no, you don't do that, man. That's a faux pas.
Did once, crazy summer.
Spent most of it indoors.
Oh, those lazy summer days. Yeah, no, but I mean, how did she not get disintegrated for thievery?
Yeah, but actually, we're coming up to that pin that I wanted to drop before. Yeah. But so anyway, she scans her, and the Jadoon now identify her as a plasmavore, not as a Time Lord, which makes no sense. Like, why?
They did turn it up to setting 2.
Did they really, though?
I did.
I am pretty sure.
They didn't. That's what the Doctor's ruse.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's just a lie.
Yeah. Their attacks.
Hang on. No, they do shout, don't they? Like, they all turn the scanner on her, like multiple.
So maybe that's what it is.
I think they do change
It cannot
something.
work like that. They have 2 categories of thing. human and non-human. Right? Is that human? No, it's a coffee table. They've got human and non-human.
Well, we found our criminal. It was the coffee table. Yeah. We can go.
But that's the thing. Okay, so that's where my pin comes in. So they identify her as a plasmavore. They accuse her of the murder of the child princess, whatever. She has her very disparaging soliloquy about this kid princess whom she killed. And then they sentence her to execution and disintegrate her, much like they did the human, the guy who attacked one of the Jadoon before. But something that we haven't mentioned in this synopsis, this Who Back When style synopsis, is that the doctor said, if the Jadoon find an extraterrestrial in this hospital, they will deem the hospital having harboured an alien criminal, and they will sentence the entire hospital, everyone therein, to execution. But in this case, they find the alien, they execute the alien, and then they go, quote, case closed. And the humans are fine. They have not committed a crime. And the only reason they leave, it's not like they leave the humans on the moon because, like, oh, fuck it, you know, they should be executed as having harbored a criminal. The only reason they leave is because the MRI is about to flash everything with radiation and kill everyone, right? That's the only reason they leave.
Yeah, and they even reverse the HTO scoop.
Yeah, exactly.
Afterwards.
Exactly, they bring everyone back. So, the whole... I'm sorry, this is something that we should have mentioned this before. Like, the doctor was trying to find the alien in order to out the alien before the Jadoon outed the alien in order to save the humans, but at some point along the way to that, the doctor's motivation just changed to, actually, I just need to out the alien to the Jadoon because humans are not in peril.
Yeah, he might have just had a misinterpretation the first time round. I mean...
Oh, yeah. Okay, yes, that is possible. That is possible.
The Jadoon were just looking for this one thing. Or that if they don't find the alien, then they'd have killed everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, also possible.
Yeah. Anyways, where does that take us to? That takes us to...
Well, we haven't mentioned that the Doctor is grey on the floor and essentially bloodless.
Yeah, he's
been sucked dry.
He's diagnosed as dead.
Yes.
And then Martha gives him mouth to mouth, and he lives again, and then he saves the day.
On both sides of the chest.
Yeah,
is important. It's ineffectual until she does both hearts, so she's finally got that into her head.
Well done.
Yeah.
Good doctor.
But then the second she gives him her last breath of oxygen, she runs out entirely and he wakes up and now she's on the floor. It's all very Romeo and Juliet, except he's a hero and everyone survives, so it's nothing like...
Hang on, so they take away the air, don't they?
Yeah, it's been running out for ages.
Doesn't it just run out?
It almost runs out. Just as they're leaving, the diplomatic doctor goes like, oh, we're running out of air. But people are still alive.
Yeah, but why wouldn't it just run out? What's the physics of that? How does that work?
Oh, it's just like, it will run out eventually, but they are saved in the nick of time. They're brought back to Earth in the nick of time.
In space... If you had some air and then whatever was sustaining that air went.
Oh, there was nothing sustaining the air. Like, from the moment... Like, I think they were brought to the moon with, like, an actual bubble of air.
Yeah.
And...
that was just depleting the entire time.
And they... Yeah, exactly. And they say, like, there are 1,000 of us in this hospital or something. 1,000? Must be so many more. Like, breathing that air, and slowly but surely that air is being consumed. And just before it is consumed, they are brought back to Earth.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of pointless... Not even symbolism. It doesn't even symbolise anything in this episode.
Nothing.
I mean, the Doctor, he's got no blood, so I suppose it makes sense that he doesn't need any oxygen.
Yeah.
Because oxygen is used to oxygenate blood, so he can pick up Martha and just carry her through the hospital despite having nothing of anything within himself at this point. Nothing life-sustaining. But
Which he doesn't do. He doesn't even need to carry her around because they're just being reverse scooped.
Yeah, basically he carries her to a window where they can see it happening.
Yeah.
He should just save his strength, which is coming from nowhere as far as I can tell.
Does he at the very least... Oh, sorry, go for it.
Just out of shot, he had a digestive in one of those tiny little cups of orange juice and he was alright.
One of those little glucose pills.
Yeah.
Does he at the very least spend some of his energy on deactivating this device, this bomb? Okay.
Yes. Now, in this, the peril is ratcheted up because he realises, I haven't got my sonic. So he's going to have to figure out something clever. He's going to have to use his mental brilliance to figure out whether to pull apart the great big blue wire or the great big red one. Presumably, he would have just sonicked it, and Sonic would have gone, red one, and he'd have gone, hey!
If they ever need a voice for the Sonic Screwdriver,
you're
should definitely be it.
Yeah.
Just like a...
Let's send this into the BBC as an audition tape. That's great.
Camp sassy screwdriver.
Yeah, the Doc has to come up with a brilliant solution, and he is not given one.
Alright. But he still does manage to save the day.
Yeah, by default, he's the only one still breathing, or not, or I don't know.
Fine. Whatever.
Are you still breathing? What's happened?
So the hospital is returned to the Earth.
Everyone's happy.
Everyone's super happy. The hospital is literally returned to the exact same place as before. Like, there's not even a ridge. Like, there's not even an edge where it was.
I feel like structurally they're just bad.
I know, that's HTO scoops for you. They're very precise.
Very.
By the way, there is a hospital there in central London opposite the Houses of Parliament. I thought that this was something invented by the writer.
But is it actually called the Royal Hospital?
It's called St Thomas Hospital.
Oh, I see.
And it does look quite like the short, squat box building, but without the tall skyscraper one.
Ah.
So, yeah, there's a hospital directly opposite Houses of Parliament. I've been there dozens of times, never noticed it, but whatever.
London trivia.
Yeah.
Every
Similarly, I've been to the moon. Loads, no hospital.
Never noticed it.
Never a hospital.
Was anyone screaming?
Yeah, loads of Starbucks. No.
People screaming excessively, apparently.
Yeah, there was an M&M World.
Surely M&M off-world, but whatever. I'm sorry.
So we cut to that same evening, and Martha and probably everyone else is just allowed to not be subjected to rigorous scientific testing by various human scientists, even though they were just on the goddamn moon.
Not with any basic psychometric testing.
Nothing whatsoever. She's allowed to attend this pub party with her dysfunctional family. We even get a scene of her dad, quote, putting his foot down.
I'm putting my foot down!
He's pretty funny. I really like that actor.
Yeah.
I've seen him in something else. I think I recognise him from something.
Other episodes of Doctor Who, he turns up later.
Oh, does the whole family... I don't remember the family turning up. Well, presumably they do, but I don't remember. Cool.
You know why they're allowed to just go about their daily lives as soon as they get back? Because Morgan Stern, appearing on the radio, says that Mr. Saxon's right. He's got it all in hand.
Oh, so much foreshadowing. Oh, exciting stuff.
And then Doctor turns up with his magic carpet singing, I can show you the world.
Pretty much. And this is where one of the loose ends is tied up. He now actually does travel back in time, take off his tie and whatever. So that first encounter with Doctor is now explained. But it is also, this whole scene, including it's bigger on the inside, is, maybe I don't know if this is a fabricated memory, but it feels like it is almost verbatim the very first meeting, the TARDIS meeting between, the Rose and Eccleston TARDIS.
Does Rose do a lap?
She does. Yes, she does. You're right. Martha doesn't. But Martha doesn't want to go with him at first because he just travels around in space and she has commitments and, family and whatever. And then he goes, would it help if I say it also travels in time?
You might fancy a trip.
What, into space? But I can't. I've got exams. I've got things to do. I have to go into town first thing and pay the rent. I've got my family going mad.
If it helps, I can travel in time as well.
Which I think is exactly what Eccleston tells Rose.
You could come with me. This box isn't just a London Opry, it goes anywhere in the universe, free of charge.
Yeah, I can't. I've got to go and find my mum, and someone's got to look after this stupid lamp. So.
By the way, did I mention it also travels in time?
Can't remember. At least something like that, and then all of a sudden she just, I'm gonna run into the thing, do-ba-da-ba-da-bow. And now she's an official companion.
I can show you the world.
So is she set up to be Rose Mark II at this point?
Well, almost deliberately not. Like the Doctor says, Rose and we were together and you are not here to replace her.
Urban Rose.
That's all very true, but you...
It's true. These people were...
Well, I suppose that's it, isn't it? You've got them lurching between obvious urban copy of Rose on one hand and new character on the other, because you've got one notepad saying has to be the same and another notepad saying has to be different. So they don't actually make a coherent character out of that. They just throw lines at her that satisfy one or another remit.
Now, at this juncture, commercially, the Rose and Tennant chemistry has taken the franchise to hitherto unseen heights, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is the juncture where everyone gets on board, America gets on board, like, becomes a vast... in my head, that's how it works. That's probably the way that pressure is. They need a new Rose. So that side's coming from people going, okay, we need to sell this franchise worldwide, just give us another Rose. And give us more sexual tension.
Yeah, I think you're right. And she probably signed on for, not just, well, possibly just the one season to begin with, but there was probably the idea of like, well, hopefully this is going to work out and then she's going to stay on for several series, right? There was no plan on, let's get Donna Noble back in. She was just, at the time, intended to be a one-off special edition companion.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're looking for someone with longevity. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, the multi-series, will they, won't they, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And in fact, like, best case scenario, people still want Rose. Let's build up some sort of pseudo-romance with Martha and then bring Rose in and then we've got a triangle drama. Like there's so much potential there,
It ends up being quite soapy, doesn't it, for a while? Oh, well.
Anyway, so now she's the companion. They rattle off, actually really rattle off. They have a very bumpy dematerialization and end of episode.
Yeah, okay.
Finally, to the moon and back.
Nothing left to it, right? Rattle into reviews, eh?
Yeah.
Reviews.
Nick, go for it.
Okay, I've not really assigned a number value to this.
Not right, actually.
I definitely have a feeling around it, which is that actually in the wake of Rose and what I thought was actually a pretty good Christmas episode as they go, and a good Donna Noble. Underwhelming in general, didn't buy the Jadoon, didn't really buy the general premise of everything. Creepy Old Lady was good, and actually, Freema Eggman was pretty solid, but I think it was cobbled together, I think I remember when watching the first time and actually watching it just before Christmas is, we'll see where this goes. But I wasn't like, this is a great opening, I can't wait to. It was like, well, we'll see where this goes from here. So on that basis, I'm going to give it a 2 flat.
Ooh, interesting.
Oh, wow.
I'll probably go higher than that, I think.
Me?
Go for it, if you like.
Well, I liked this one until we reviewed it.
As is this way with most of our reviews.
Yeah, possibly you did too, listeners. Let us know. I thought the opening exposition was effective. I thought when Martha was allowed to be Martha, not Martha Rose brackets, I thought she was effective. Her acting was good. I thought that Tennant, despite his wibbly-wobbly foot scene, he wasn't as annoying as he had been in the last series when he did stuff like that and just gibbered nonsensically all the way through it. I thought Martha was good except when she had to play dumb, but that wasn't her fault as much as the writings. I liked the peril, the whole structure of the story, although you did take it apart for me a bit with the whole, they've got to find the alien, actually that doesn't matter. It seemed very sound and satisfying until closer inspection.
Human or non-human.
I'm going to write down my rating before you say it.
Yeah. I thought the Jadoon were decent as secondary antagonists. They had nuances and little jokes attached to them as G4S in space. Miss Finnegan, Anne Reid, who apparently also appeared as Nurse Crane in The Curse of Fenric.
Oh! Wait, what?
Yes. I looked up that trivia. You're welcome. And was the voice of Wendoline in Wallace and Gromit: A Close Shave.
Wow, Boner's gone.
She was excellent. There were the points for visual impact at the end I cringed at. The Doctor basically should be dead. The cutting and editing was ridiculous, but it zipped along. All that said, there was only the one obligatory weirdly off joke about Emmeline Pankhurst. So I'm going to go higher than Nick. I'm going to give it a 3 flat.
Wow.
Whole percentage point. Well, whole whatever our units are.
Yeah.
Whole
Sonic Boner more. 1.0 Sonic Boners more.
That's what we've been doing. We've been doing Sonic Boners. Yeah. Okay.
I tried that in one instance and I was called very bad things by Flapjack. Okay, wow, 2 and 3. I'm giving this a 2.6. So almost in the middle. I think it is sort of not a bad episode in the sense of it's a wibbly-wobbly Whovian sci-fi story. They get taken to the moon. I like it. I like the special effects. I like all the action sequences and all that blah blah. And I like, in principle, all of the aliens. I like that there's a plasmivore. I think that's a great idea, but the straw pisses me off. I like that there's an international weird police force, but there's space rhinos that pisses me off. Mainly, I'm bumping down the rating because of all of these childish elements and the fact that the plot actually, the whole, his motivation changes throughout the episode and it just doesn't work. I also think that Martha Jones was not a bad companion in this one, and I remember thinking back on the rest of her run, I remember thinking, holy shit, she's a terrible companion. Like, I can never relate to this person. I don't buy her. And I have seen the next 2 episodes, I think. Saw them a couple of weeks ago, and she isn't very good. But in this one, she is. I like her. I think they complement each other quite well, and I agree with you, Drew. I think Tennant was pretty spiffing in this one. Overall, yeah, 2.6. Too silly, makes very little sense, but it is still wildly entertaining.
And you liked the tie thing going back in time.
Yeah, exactly. I've said this I said this in the last solo episode that hasn't dropped yet at the time of recording this, that I like it when time travel is part of the narrative. And it worked. There you go, bing bong, hey hey.
Okay, episode over, eh?
Episode over.
What's next?
Good question. Next one, I think, is the Shakespeare Code. In New Who.
Bugger.
So if it's yeah, that is not a good one, let me tell you.
I think I've seen that one too recently. Oh Lord.
Yeah, for New Who it's Shakespeare Code. For Classic Who it is Tomb of the Cybermen.
Ooh.
Which is a legendary episode. I haven't seen it yet. Or a legendary serial, but it is, I mean, oh my goodness. And it's completely intact.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm bored for that.
And audiobook is Scapegoat.
Nice.
Yeah, that's right. No more We're Dawn.
We don't even have to mention it anymore. But we somehow can't help ourselves.
I know. Sorry about that. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to follow my lovely co-hosts on Twitter, starting with the chap on my left. He is Drew. He is at...
I am found at Drew back when, cause it sounds like who back when.
Hey!
No, I don't want you to follow me on Twitter.
Why?
I just want you to follow me in real life. Just follow me around. I'll be in the various pubs of Oxford. Just, do that. I don't want anyone to follow me on Twitter anymore.
Yeah, save your stamps. Deliver your hate mail to him direct.
That's cool.
Have you received any, by the way?
None?
Oh, come on, listeners.
No hate mail.
All right.
Very sad. Okay. All right, fine.
I'm sure we can drum up something.
If you want to follow me on Twitter, feel free to. You can follow me in real life as well, but I'm good at hiding. Here's a soundbite of JD singing how you spell my Twitter handle.
P-O-N-K-E-N, pumpkin.
Thanks, JD.
Do you actually want to do the Nick Ukulele thing, or
yeah,
are you just going to leave it out this episode?
Also, would you like to have like a Twitter song that we can always refer back to?
No, my Twittering recently has just been it's way too boring for anyone to want to care about.
I haven't tweeted in weeks.
Just find me in one of the many pubs in Oxford, and if not, just imagine me there.
Ooh, actually, here's something that we could say as well. Coming up in about a month's time, if you happen to be in the Oxford area, Oxford is going to play host to OxCon, the Oxford Comic Con 2016. Bing bong, Future Pumpkin here. Actually, OxCon takes place on the 5th and 6th of March 2016. Go to oxcon.xyz for more information. That's oxcon.xyz. Bing bong. You're not going to be there, I think, Nick.
I'm sadly in Japan.
Oh, sadly. Oh, you're off on another globe-trotting adventure, you bastard.
Oh, and sadly, it's when the cherry blossom's going to be, and it's going to be just wall-to-wall misery.
What a depressingly boring, uneventful trip you're going to go on.
I'm sad about it.
That's terrible. Well, the rest of us are most likely going to be at OxCon 2016, so if you happen to be in the neighbourhood, high-five us online, and we might be able to high-five in person at the con. Thank you very much for listening. Catch you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Kablamo! Did you enjoy the show? Then please do what the cosmos compels you to and spread the gospel of Who Back When. Tell your friends. Don't have any friends? No problemo. Tell some strangers. Like us on Facebook. That's facebook.com/Who Back When. All in one word. Are you on Google+? Then find us on Google+. That's plus Who Back When. And when you do, tell us why you're on Google+. Who Back When just got its very own Twitter account, no lie, so give us a follow. You guessed it, that's @Who Back When, all in one word. Check us out on SoundCloud, vote us up on Reddit, listen to us on Stitcher, and head on over to our website, whobackwhen.com, where you can leave a comment, submit a review of your own, and peruse our visual index of aliens, monsters, and more, which increases in kablamos with every episode. And lastly, give us a rating and review on iTunes. Not only would it make us super chuffed, and it really, really would, but as thanks, we will transmigrate your iTunes nom de plume into the credit list of trailers for fake Doctor Who audiobooks produced by Who Back When. Have a poke around our bonus episodes to make more sense of that. That's it. Rock on and be rad and excellent to each other. Catch your earballs in our next classic Who review, new Who review, or, still funny, audio Who review. Ciao.
Who Back When?
Shit, the fuck you doing? Get off me. God, I swore. Sorry.